child in the 1950s, movies with spaceships and satellites sent me soaring. And when I heard Teresa Brewer's song, Satellite, my head started spinning all over again as I joyously began to watch those spacey sci-fi movies of the 1950s through 1960s. Number 5. Beyond the Time Barrier. Edward G. Elmer directed the film, which stars Robert Clark, Darlene Hopkins, Vladimir Sokolov, Boyd Franklin Morgan, John Van Drielen, Adrian Elmer Cypus, and Richard Biquet. The plan was to use an experimental jet airplane to reach the boundaries of outer space. Instead, the pilot moves through an unknown barrier by breaking a time lock. He's thrown into a future where cosmic rays from outer space, ignited by nuclear weapons testing, have created a desolate new world. The captain is captured and taken to an underground city where most of the inhabitants are sterile, deaf mutes.
Who are you? What are you doing to me? I said, what are you doing to me? Can't you hear me? Get me out of this thing!
Our hero learns from other scapes, others that accidentally slip through time, that he is in the futuristic year of
2024, 64 years into the future for you, Major.
Frustration tears the pilot between fighting off the violent mutant survivors, figuring how to get back to his jet and possibly returning to his own time, and the need to jumpstart the human race with the leader's telepathic and fertile granddaughter. Decisions. Number 4. War of the Satellites. Directed by Roger Corman and starring Richard Devon, Dick Miller, Susan Cabot, Robert Shane, Jared Barkley, Michael Fox, and Bruno Visotto. The United Nations Space Program has launched 10 manned satellites, all of which were destroyed after they encountered a mysterious space barrier. It seems that the aliens, or masters of the spiral nebula Ghana, are quarantining Earthlings from space travel to protect the universe.
To the United Nations of the third planet of minor luminary Sol, called by the inhabitants thereof the Earth, we are taking this means of conveying our command that all such efforts to expand and depart from the infected planet Earth shall from this moment be stopped.
Because they refused to stop, the aliens disposed of the head of the space program and replaced him with a duplicate. The replacement is determined to prevent the new team of satellite astronauts from succeeding in space.
Can't move.
I've partially inactivated your mosquito system. I can offer you the opportunity of joining us.
You can go to hell.
Very well. But only death remains.
Number 3. The Phantom Planet. Directed by William Marshall and starring Dean Fredericks, Anthony Dexter, Dolores Faith, Colleen Gray, Richard Webber, Dick Haynes, and Francis X. Bushman. In the year 1980, spaceships launched from the moon have disappeared.
We are under 11 G's exterior acceleration and have no control whatsoever. We're going to hit!
2 more United States Air Force Exploration Wing servicemen attempt to discover what happened. Unfortunately, during the search, one of the men is separated from the ship, and an energy beam forces Captain Chapman to make an emergency landing on an asteroid. Once Chapman breathes the asteroid's air, he shrinks to 6 inches tall. The similarly small inhabitants abduct him and tell him he must remain on Rhyton, the Phantom Planet.
I find you guilty as charged.
Will the captain fight the push-me-pull-you duel as if his life depended on it? And will he be a match for the local alien prisoner? Number 2. Satellite in the Sky. Directed by Paul Dixon and starred Carrion Moore, Lois Maxwell, Jimmy Hanley, Brian Forbes, Donald Wolfett, Barry Keoghan, Walter Hudd, Thea Gregory, and Shirley Lawrence. The goal is to launch the spaceship, Stardust, on its first flight outside the Earth's gravitational pull. The trip is interrupted when a crew member finds a nosy reporter stowing away.
Come on, I'm surprised you take it so calm.
There doesn't seem to be much point in doing anything else. I can't drop her outside, much as I'd like to.
To add to the secrecy, they will launch the first tritonium bomb and explode it outside of the ship. Unfortunately, the bomb accidentally attaches itself to the outside of the ship, and the timer is ticking. Number 1, Flight to Mars. It was directed by Leslie Salander and starred Arthur France, Cameron Mitchell, Virginia Stafford, John Lytell, Richard Gaines, Morris Ankrum, Robert Barat, Marguerite Chapman, and Lucy Barclay. The first trip to the planet Mars includes a physicist, a professor, a spaceship designer, a spaceship engineer, and a journalist. Unfortunately, their damaged ship gets them to Mars without hope of returning to Earth. Once there, the team finds human-like individuals within a high-tech society who could assist them with their return trip.
We want to help. However, this is a matter that must be discussed by our council. We will let you know our decision shortly.
In actuality, the Martians plan to reproduce this spaceship and then invade and enslave the people of Earth.
And when we finish with the ruins of their world, what then? A plan to conquer the universe? More rocket ships? Where is the end of it?
Will the Earthmen thwart the devious Martian plan and escape, thus saving Earth from the vicious Martian fashion statements? Thanks for coming along for the ride. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and place your comments below with your favorite sci-fi movies of the 1950s and 1960s. See you next time.
My love takes the path of a satellite in an orbit around your heart. Your attraction is something I never could fight, and it's starting to pull me apart.